Hello everyone and welcome to Simplex Cuisine. My name is Harper, if you did not know, and today I'm going to teach you how to make a quick and easy and very delicious, at least to me, steak dinner. So let's begin. Now the ingredients and a full written out recipe will be in the description below, so just look down there if you want to see that. Now the first thing you need to really do is take out your steak and let it, you could say, rest. You want to have the steak at room temperature or so, just like rest it for an hour and a half or so, which allows the potatoes to cook at the same time. Now you'll be preheating your oven to 300 degrees Fahrenheit, and I just cleaned off the, you could say, rungs of the oven very quickly, just because there will be potatoes on that, and you want to try to keep that hygiene pretty high. But from there, start cleaning your potatoes. Now I used a vegetable scrubber and more or less scrub off your potatoes, try to get them nice and clean, and more or less try to minimize the amount of, you could say, grime on potatoes. Now I would also say try to get your potatoes very new. Look for brown spots, little molded spots, because you won't be skinning the potatoes. You have no idea what's under it, and if you have older potatoes, you can easily just skin them. It really is up to you. Now after that, pat them dry, try to make them as dry as you can, and create your rub out of your oil and your salt and pepper, and more or less coat the whole potatoes in this oily rub. And after that, when the oven is done preheating, put them into the oven and set the timer for an hour and a half. Now while you wait, you can easily just prep your steaks, and we've already put the steaks aside, so you can easily just take out the seasoning you'll be using. We're using garlic, butter, and thyme, the most, you could say, simple and you could say OG version of it. So I would just peel the garlic cloves and get the thyme sprigs out and just wait 10 minutes before your potatoes are done. Pour your water into your pot for your broccoli. Now I use a really, you could say, lazy version of cooking or steaming broccoli. I just put the broccoli in the pan already, and this is just an easy way to steam your broccoli without an actual steamer. Now if you have one, just use that, but sadly I could not use mine at that moment, so I just use this lazy version. And also heat up your pan for your steak. Now when your pan is heated up well enough, put some oil in your pan and then place your steaks in and sear the steaks for 3 minutes. Now after that 3 minutes, flip them over and let them cook for another 3 to 2 minutes before you place a pat of butter and your thyme and garlic in. Now at this time too, you also probably put your broccoli in your steamer and steam that, or cook that, whatever you want to call it, for around 6 minutes or so. Now back to the steak. After you put your butter and your thyme and your garlic into the pan, put it onto low heat immediately, and after the butter is completely melted, put your thyme leaves, or sprigs, whatever I call them, on top of your steak. Now this is when you start basting your steaks, which is more or less scooping up the buttery, garlicky mixture and ladling it onto your steak, and this goes on for another minute or so until your steaks are well basted. Now after this, take off your steaks and let them rest for another 10 minutes. Now if you want to, and I would say completely do this, because this is delicious, but it's also insanely unhealthy, so it's up to you. Take out all that buttery, garlicky thyme herb mixture. I call it more or less a easy without the thickness of gravy, and pour it into a small cup, so you can more or less put that on top of your steak and potatoes and really anything else. It is delicious and it is completely heavenly. But after that, you just have to wait for your broccoli to finish and for your potatoes to be done. Now after the 90 minutes, if you cannot put a knife through your potatoes without any resistance, put it back into the oven and take it out every 10 to 5 minutes until your potatoes are completely done cooking. Now this is when your assembly takes place, and I have to say, because of the 10 minutes of waiting, it's really a nice time to let all of your food to cool down if you don't like very hot temperature food. I myself do not like getting my mouth burned, so I like waiting for a little while, but it's really up to you. Start plating it up, and for me at least, because potatoes are pretty big, I cut potatoes in half. This is a classic baked potato without the russet part, because sadly all the russet potatoes at Costco were pretty bad at that moment. But you can have the whole potato, you can have half potato, you can have a quarter of the potato. More or less, plate potato up with a little bit of butter and some salt and pepper, of course, and then of course plate up your steak, and then of course your broccoli, and then finally your last piece of resistance, as as they call it in France without that terrible pronunciation. Put on your beautiful gravy if you want to, of course, and season if you want to. Of course, you already seasoned your steak with salt and pepper before, and you seasoned your potatoes before and your broccoli, but a little bit more does not hurt usually, so of course season a little bit more. And there you go, there is your simple, easy, but also delicious steak dinner for 2 or 4. The steak that I used actually gave me 4 slices or 4 slabs or 4 servings, you could say. And you can easily have it as a 4 serving dinner. And of course, this is an easy recipe for, of course, the leftovers. But with that, enjoy your delicious dinner, and that is really all for me. So, of course, if you like this video and if you think it is helpful for you, click that like. And if you want to see more from moi, just subscribe. I hope you have an amazing day. I will see you next time, and as usual, goodbye. So it is medium to well done, which is good because I like that. Yeah.